Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and some fun little team builds for the LR Dokkan Festival exclusive Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So of course, how I normally start all these videos here, we're going to look at the card art. So let's look at the SSR and the TUR. I think both of them look great, right? Really, the SSR is missing that, maybe deep white outline that I normally see there, but it's kind of also an action pose a little bit because Broly's powering up, whereas the TUR is always an action pose, and I think that looks really nice as well. So I think both of them, color scheme, everything looks incredible. However, the LRs, man, the LRs, they just bring it. And the LR for the INT Legendary Super Saiyan Dokkan Festival exclusive Broly here is just stellar, right? So it's stellar. So it looks amazing. Let's go ahead and dive into the breakdown. And let's actually look at the stats first. So you're looking at 21.9 for HP, under 20,000 for attack. So this was very surprising there because you're seeing more and more LRs like getting closer to 21,000 or even over 21,000. But they, for some reason, said, we're going to actually put this under 20. And that's very uncommon, I would say, for a Dokkan Festival exclusive LR. And on top of that, they did increase and have a really strong defensive stat. But ultimately, that thing just kind of jumped out at me. Now, one thing I did forget to mention right off the bat here is that this is the first time ever Dokkan in a given calendar year has provided us 2 Dokkan Festival exclusive Extreme Class LRs. And funny enough, both of them are Brolys this year, and this is the first time it's ever happened. So I also believe this is the first time we ever had an Extreme Class Dokkan Festival exclusive anniversary unit, which was the movie Broly, and of course this Broly here, which is also another Dokkan Festival exclusive. So yeah, interesting. They broke the mold this year before the 10-year anniversary, and I think Broly fans are very happy about it. So let's look at the details of this unit here. This is a triple leader skill, and I was very high on this leader skill, going, wow, I'm so happy we got a triple. But then you find out how badly designed extreme class units are in the past 5 years, because even the EZAs and even just all the extreme classes are available on these teams and all these categories. It's lacking, to say the least, and I hope they really have more of an opportunity to provide more extreme class units, or when they EZA units, they just have to be broken, man. They just have to be so good, because it really is lagging behind super class teams. However, this team is going to be very good when I show you the built team here, but it's not much different than just running a full movie bosses team. So you'll see what I mean when I go through this. So uncontrollable power, revenge, planetary destruction, 170, and then movie bosses, movie transformation boost, and pure Saiyans as the 30% boost. You have the 12 key super attack, provides you massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn, high chance of furthering defense for another turn, which it's a very nice super 12 key super attack, because if you can get 2 off, you can really get some really added defense if needed. And in this case, you might, but you also want to get KO'd as well, because you get a lot of benefits if you revive along with it. So again, this is a very interesting design for this Broly. Causes colossal damage to the enemy, and then a high chance of stunning the enemy. And then the 18 key super attack massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn, so it's nice to have both there. And then high chance of further massively raising attack for 1 turn, and then causes mega colossal damage with a great chance of stunning the enemy. So really nice super attacks. I think they did a good job in providing you this, and then that extra boost. So passive skill here does have an entrance animation. It provides you extreme class allies defense 40% for 4 turns. So nice that it just gives you a support there. But you're gonna see the teams. This team is just really strong as a standalone team. So plus addition, so the regular stats are plus attack and defense 260% and reduces damage by 60%. Just flat out. That's, of course, very strong there. Plus an additional attack 100% when attacking. Plus 2 to ki and 2% HP boost there. So that's a nice little piece of recovery that you're going to get additional boost with really any type of key sphere obtained versus only picking up the int key spheres. You do have a domain here. While domain is up, then you randomly changes key spheres of a certain type from int and besides int and str to str at the start of the character's attacking turn and guards all attacks. So when you have your domain up, and we'll talk about how you set up this domain here, you're guarding and 60% damage mitigation. So absolutely you can run this in first position when domain is up. However, domain is not up for that long, and again we'll show you how that works. Attacks effective against all types for the rest of the battle when a character performs an attack while domain is active, and then once it's not active, then you still keep the effective attacks effective against all types. So no crit, but they have effective against all types. So starting from a 5th turn, this is again an interesting design here. Starting from the 5th turn of the character's entry turn, so that's a key there too. It's not 5th turn from the start of the battle. It's from the entry character's entry turn. This is revives 60% HP recovered when the character or an ally attacking the same turn is KO'd. So that's very beneficial, of course. Anybody on the team, if they were to get KO'd in that rotation, you are going to activate the revive. However, you're going to get some additional benefit if it's the BROLY that revives versus an ally. So this you get a boost if it's an ally, so it's plus additional 60% defense to the character when receiving an attack after the character or ally revival skill is activated. But if the character's revival skill is activated, this is huge here, and I wish they didn't limit it to the character. It could have been just anybody. Changes physical key spheres to int key spheres and uncontrollable power category allies 60% to attack and defense. That's really strong. And again, this is really from the character's revival skill. So if your character, if this BROLY revives, then you're not only getting the 60% defense when receiving an attack, you also orb change some more, and you have support for uncontrollable power. So I really wish there was just character. I wish all this was just combined into when the revival skill is just activated, because this is really, really nice. So I dinged it some points because, again, you know, the character revival skill is a little bit limiting. So, but let's talk about the active skill here that turns on the domain. So this domain temporarily or massively raises attack and temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and creates the domain for the molten lava for 3 turns. So it's a very short stint here. And the nice thing about this is it's literally available for you right when it starts. So right when this unit shows up, you can turn on that domain right away. So can be activated when Goku's family's category enemy or when all allies attacking the same turn are uncontrollable category characters. So we will highlight that as if you want to run a team that you want to make sure that you can't open up the domain right away, it has to be a full uncontrollable power team, which really isn't all that hard to do, but ultimately you do just have to watch out for a couple of units on there, right? So let's then look at the rest of this. So the domain, what happens in the domain, you're going to get uncontrollable category enemies and allies attack and defense 15%, increases damage by super class enemies and allies by 15%, and then plus an additional 10% for individuals who are in the movie heroes category that you basically get more damage, right? So damage increased received by superclass and movie heroes, basically 25% for enemies and allies. Link skill, Saiyan Warrior Race, Prepare for Battle, Shocking Speed, Super Saiyan, Berserker, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. There's no transformation here, so of course those Link skills stay the same. It's on a a good amount of categories here as well. Resurrected Warriors, Movie Bosses, Super Saiyans, Full Power, Transformation Boost, Target Goku, Exploding Rage, Revenge, Inhuman Deeds, Powerful Comeback, Planetary Destruction, Legendary Existence, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, and Uncontrollable Power. So that is the kit here. I think it's a strong kit. I think it's a very good Dokkan Festival exclusive unit, but comparable to all the other units that are out there, it might not be as, I would say, valuable, comparable to the other ones on there. I like Tech LR Broly slightly better, but not by that much, right? Just because the leader skill here, I would have given this unit more value if this leader skill here wasn't as basically the same the team that you're gonna be running in movie bosses, right? So all right, let's talk about links. Well, you're gonna link up the best with the Tech Broly when he transforms, which is right away, generally speaking, right? After the first turn, you're going to transform anyway, and they're both Legendary Super Saiyan units on here, and basically you get a nice little boost here. You get Saiyan Warrior Race for 10%. Again, these are all at link level 10. Prepare for Battle, key +2, and attack defense 5%. Shocking Speed, key +2, 5% to defense. Super Saiyans give you 15% to attack. Berserker, when your HP is 50% or less, which probably isn't going to be all that common, is 30% on attack there. Fierce Battle, straight up 20%, which is huge, and then 15% to when performing super attack with legendary power. So very strong, 7 links there, but you can also get 6 links on these other units as well. So you're linking very well if you're running with other Brolys, right? Makes a lot of sense, of course, of that happening. So now let's talk about team builds, right? Team builds is really where it's going to be interesting here. So let's go ahead and transition into that. All right, so let's look at the first team build here, which is going to be 200%. And you're generally going to run a more 200% team here. Now, the problem here, of course, is going to be Cell Max. Cell Max then limits you to what you can run because it needs to be a singular category: super bosses, movie bosses, or what's the other one? I can't even think of the other one now, but anyway, artificial life forms, right? So those are the 3 that it has to be all technically in the same category for him to get his additional boost. But ultimately, this is a very, very strong team. You're running, of course, 2 Int Brolys here, and this is all full movie bosses team. So this is the reason why I'm like, oh man, the value isn't all that strong, because it's the differentiator for this team and a full movie bosses team running the Tech Broly here is you run 2 Tech Brolys versus you running 2 Int Brolys here. And I really believe the other team is a little bit better. So we'll talk about that in a second. So once you have this team here, you also have to consider, okay, if I want to have the domain up at basically first appearance at any point in time, you might have to put a Rudiguard on this, because you do have to take out Turles, albeit Turles is a great support for your planetary destruction units on here, which is actually a lot now versus where it was before. But he's not uncontrollable power, so if he's on the rotation, you then cannot activate it until the following rotation, where then he's not on there, and then everybody else on the team here is uncontrollable power. So just kind of keep that in mind. You do have to change it up a little bit, and again, with Cell Max, then in this case still needs to be a movie boss. If you take Cell Max out, then there's some other options there as well. So, but I still like the team with Turles. I think Turles is this team just hits incredibly hard. Let's just say that. I think this is one of the best standalone teams that you can have in the game, especially once you transform. Just look at look at the amount of damage that you can foresee here. It's absolutely incredible. So once transformed, you can move into multiple different spots here. All of them are going to link well. You can switch things up. So for example, if you want the Tech EZA Broly when he's maxed out there, you might want to run him in main rotation. And you want to then if you drop the Int Broly, you got to make sure he runs in first position, because what's going to happen is if he's running in second position and you have another Dokkan Festival exclusive Int Broly in the floater position, then they're not going to link up. However, generally speaking, they're already going to be linked up very well with the first position unit. So I don't think it matters too much, but if you want to run it like this, that's fine. So, but yeah, just look at its glory. I have to put Cellmax, as a floater. Like, that's crazy that I'm putting Cellmax as a floater on here. Like, you don't have to. You can still put him in the main rotation here. But generally, after transformation, his interest animation is done, and a little bit weaker in terms of defense. So yeah, a transformed team here is absolutely credible. But again, remember, this is movie bosses. So movie bosses. The Tech Broly team is basically the same. So now if you took Cellmax out, you do have some flexibility. Right now you can run other units that's not a movie boss, but as of right now, when I'm recording this video here, there's really not many units or options or flexibility that justifies you not using Cellmax. Now the other side of it is, if you didn't get Cellmax, then yes, you're gonna have to run a different team here. But you have a bunch of different units that you can run for support. This is the first time you can run the free-to-play Paragus as well. For some reason, you couldn't run him on movie bosses, but I guess he wasn't a movie boss. But you can run him on this team here because I believe he's on Revenge category. If you want to run a full Planetary Destruction team, it might look something like this. But just remember, Broly is not going to be able to use his domain if you're going to run something like this, and I think this will be the only uncontrollable power. So you have to wait for him to be on rotation with everyone else to then activate his domain, right? So you do have to make sure you do have one floater as uncontrollable power for you to make sure you're able to activate that. So the other team that you run would be Boo. This is a very awkward, unusual team, but you do have the option to run this team on here. You have the ability to force revival here, right? So that can create a much easier revival to boost up 60% defense on these Brolys here. So you do have that option, and of course you do have to run a Majin Saga on rotation with the Tech Boo, or he's pretty much dead, right? The damage mitigation is benefited because there is a Boo Saga unit running on the same team. So it's kind of a goofy team there. Planetary Destruction is also on there. So you're going to run this team transformed into this team. You are going to run the movie bosses transformed 200% team, regardless of the facts. So why is that familiar? Well, guess what? If you ran the Tech Broly, it's literally the same thing. It's just that you're running 2 Tech Brolys versus 2 Int Brolys, and I think this is better, right? So again, my opinion. An interesting thing that you can do too is you can absolutely move the Broly before he transforms in the second position. He's going to tank still very well and then support everyone else. So that's pretty nice. And then once transformation happens, yeah, this team is just out of control, right? Out of control. And then if you do want to run the Tech Broly again, you're just going to move him in that main rotation spot. And in this case, it's just a lot easier. Everybody's going to be just linking really, really well. So yeah, when I say this team here or this team right here, right, the 200% Int Broly team or the Carnival, right, I prefer the Carnival because I prefer the Tech Broly. So anyway, those, I guess, my thoughts there. And then I guess the last one you want to take a look at in other teams that you're going to be running the Int Broly on is Super Boss's team here. Since it is, I believe, their full power transformation boost he's on, right? So let me look back on the categories. He is on transformation boost, right? So, but he's still running at 200% because he's movie bosses. So you can run him on this team. This is kind of a goofy movie bosses team on here. I'm running this unit here as a support there. You're running all floaters that can basically provide uncontrollable power. It's an okay team to run. You might run the EZA more so and then run a different support. But I think you're better off running super bosses, a super bosses team versus a movie bosses team. But still, this is still a really strong team you can run as a variation of the super bosses with the movie Broly. So, and then finally, you can run a full Broly team. Finally, at least a viable full Broly team that you can run, right? Especially when you have the domain up with the new Broly, you're going to orb change, so that's going to help, you know, the Chili Lemon Broly, this unit here, make sure he gets those 7 orbs so you can guarantee dodge there, right? So, and the reason why you have to have this unit down here and then you have to move the Int Broly in first position, right, is because, again, the linking aspect of it. They're the same name, and they won't link together, so you just got to make sure that that happens on there. So of course this would be the weakest out of the bunch, and then the final team we can go over is this team right here, where you can run the Paragus, which Paragus is your Broly support. Like, individually, Broly that's what he's designed to support here, and you're gonna run a team something like this. However, you do kind of have to, because of this unit here, you're gonna have to run this right here in first position, because, again, the whole linking aspect of it all. So anyway, I didn't think this would run this long of a video here, but I guess we went through a lot of variations and teams. Hopefully you guys benefited from this, and if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Tell me what you guys think about this Broly, and yeah, thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.